Hi everyone, it's Jess, aka Colouring Bumblebee, and I'm back today with another video for you. Today I am going to be filming one of my favourite videos to film at the end of each month. It is my July completed pages video. And woo, do I have a big stack of books here. Let's see if I can get any of that in frame. Yep, my stack of books is actually taller than my phone is on the little tripod I have here. But let me move those to the side and grab my colouring journal, and we will go over some of the stats for the month. So I completed a total of 42 pages. 12 of those were colour by numbers, so 30 were regular pages, and I did manage to get one double page spread this month, which that was a goal of mine at the start of the year, to get a double page spread done at each month. It took me half the year to achieve that goal, or start achieving that goal, but glad to have got another double page spread done this month. I didn't complete any of my long-term whips, but that's okay. I did 17 individual buddy colours and 8 which were part of a group buddy colour, whether that's a group on Instagram or a group colour along hashtag on Instagram. And then I coloured in 31 different books. 7 of those were previously untouched, which means that my remaining untouched books is 60 or 25.21%. I'm a little bit sad because it does mean I've gone over a quarter untouched again, but I did get quite a few books this month. I bought myself 9 and I received 3 as Happy Mail. Some from publishers, one from my mum and dad, and one from a friend. I now have a total of 238 books in my collection, and I actually have destashed 3. And I will be doing a kind of destashing video soon, because I think I'm at the point where, yeah, every other book I have in my collection, I can see myself colouring in again. So have a look out on the channel fairly soon for a destash video. I have coloured a total of 275 pages in 2025, and I did start a few whips this month, so I will show you those whips to start with. First up, I've got Fairy Tales by Emily Liederhall-Oberg, and this is a group buddy colour I run on Instagram, where we colour a page in here every other month. And I got close to finishing, but I wanted to prioritise some other pages at the end of the month over this one. So you can see I don't have much left to do. I've done the whole of the girl and the dress. Really love how she has turned out. I've shaded 3 of the flowers here. I've put a base layer of my lightest shade of pencil down for the flowers over on this side. I just need to deepen them up with a bit of shading, do all the leaves, and then the background on this page will be done. So I'm hoping to get that finished in the next day or 2. So that is Fairy Tales by Emily Liederhall-Oberg. Then another group I am part of is Year of Witches. This is by Usiku. In fact, it's a buddy colour group for all of Usiku's Witches books. And this was the one that we were colouring in for July. And I started it. I've based the entire image. And I wasn't liking how it was turning out. For my colours at the bottom here, I actually searched up Wildflower Field, because this page is called Wildflowers, and took inspiration from that. And I think just the red is too vibrant. But I think that is just because it's only a base layer of colour at the moment with alcohol markers. And once I come in with the pencils, deepen everything up, it will look nice and cohesive. I wasn't sure what to do with these girls, and ended up actually looking for summer cottagecore dress, and found some cute little colours and patterns that inspired me. So hoping to get this one done as well this month, and luckily the group has decided to do a catch-up month, so I can make sure that I finish this by the end of August. The only other page I haven't done for the group was this one, I believe. This was April's, I want to say. And yeah, I might get that one we'll see, but I've been up to date with all the other pages that we've coloured so far as part of that group. So that's Year of Witches by Yusiku. And the final whip I have started is in Small World Colouring. This is a buddy colour with Erica at Elm Colours, and we are doing this double page spread here of the Fairy Kingdom. As you can see, I have based it all with Crayola Super Tips, mainly the pastel set of colours. Really love the pink, purple, blue colour scheme I've got going on. I know that Erica was in a bit of having some health issues at the end of the month and troubles with her back, so she hasn't been colouring as much recently, and she asked if we could extend it to August, and I said that's absolutely fine because I kind of hit a standstill with this page, but I do want to make sure I get this finished for August, as it has been an outstanding buddy colour for quite a few months. So that's Small World Colouring by Ursula Schwab. Moving on to all of my completed pages for the month of July. First up, I've got Minoriser Dutch Africa by Rita Berman, and this was a buddy colour with the lovely Ellie at Ellie Colours and Designs, and the page we did was this double page spread. So here is the double page spread I did for the month, and I absolutely loved colouring this. I love how it turned out. It was so much fun. You can see I was vaguely inspired by these two colour palettes from the Colour Cubes by Sarah Renee Clark. I was more inspired by this colour cube card than this one, and then added in this kind of peachy pinky colour because I thought that one looked really nice. But yeah, I kind of used this blue for the water, and yeah, did enjoy using those two cards. And I used Black Widows for the whole page. I added some of the Languo gel pens. I tried using the white on the water to outline some of the black lines. That didn't work so successfully. It worked really well for this grey colour on the clouds and a nice light blue to cover up some of the lines on there. But yeah, everything else, everything was Black Widows for this page. Really enjoying using my Black Widows at the moment. And I did add a bit of black glaze on the eyes of the elephants and on some details on this truck here. And that just adds a nice shine to the page, and a bit of glaze on the clear one on the lamp there. So I will show you Ellie's gorgeous page that she did here. She went for a totally different vibe. Hers is so bright and colourful. I absolutely love how it turned out. And thank you so much for colouring this page with me. This was a buddy colour we planned for June, but we both took a little bit longer and finished at the start of July. So really loved colouring this page, and it was great to get another one done in Minoriser Dutch Africa by Rita Berman. Then I have Botanicum. This is by Maria Trolle, and this was a buddy colour with Nikki at Knick Knack Colours. And the page we did was this really gorgeous fox on the Wildflower Hill. I really like the colours I used for this page. I used polychromos for the entire thing and added just a bit of a silver signo gel pen for the stars and the moon in the background. This page was very hard to photograph because any kind of light reflex on the black paper just looks weird on a photo, but got there in the end with a bit of editing. Yeah, I just like the simpleness of this page. It really didn't take long to do, about an hour or so, as there's only that tiny bit to colour. There were a couple of areas here I can see as the light is shining on the page. You can see it just about there where I actually went over and coloured black sections because it hadn't been filled in kind of properly and just had some weird kind of jutting out bits. So I coloured those over. But yeah, let me move mine across and show you Nikki's beautiful page here. She did an amazing job as always. Thank you so much for colouring with me, and look forward to the next buddy colour that we do. So that is Botanicum by Maria Trolle. Then I've got Matchstick Mouse, a Big Adventure Colouring Book by Morgan O'Brien, and this is a project book with Nikki from Knick Knack Colours, Jo from Geordie Colours, Amy from Colouring with Amy, Zoe from Zoe's Cozy Colouring, and Emma from Emma Colouring 85, who has just joined us this last month. And the page we did, it was Zoe's turn to pick this last month. Where is it? I'm getting to the point where I need to be flagging my pages in this book. But we did the pyramids page, and yeah, this turned out exactly like I wanted it to. I wanted to have this nice sunsetty background and just kept the colour palette nice and simple with lots of reds and oranges, and bringing that in with the pizza and the things on top of that. But I did use a bit of the Language gel pens again to cover up the black lines of the sun and on these clouds. And I also used the yellow on the triangles of this napkin here. Thought that was a nice touch as well. Yeah, I'd started experimenting a bit more with the Language gel pens this month. Only a little bit. Like, I think it was right at the start of the month I was using them more, but they're great for covering black lines and giving it a different colour than just white, like I usually do with my white paint pens. But let me move mine across and show you everyone's beautiful pages here. Everyone did such an amazing job. They all look pretty different from each other, which is always a lot of fun. So thank you to all of those ladies for colouring with me in this book again. I believe that was our halfway point as well. Yeah, that was our 15th page out of 30, so nice achievement there. And the next page we are doing is this skydiving page, which is really fun. So that is Matchstick Mouse, A Big Adventure colouring book by Morgan O'Brien. Then I've got 50 Mythical Miniatures by Camellia Angel Cover. If you've watched my channel a lot this year, then you will know that I'm trying to complete this book this year, and that is thanks to Melissa at Winter 89 Colours, who is hosting Project Mythical Minis. Now, I really should have flagged the pages in this book because there are a lot of completed ones in here. I'm not going to go through in the specific order, but one of the pages I did for July was the Sphinx page. Now, I'm not too happy with how this turned out. I think I needed to do the hair colour something different to the wings. Well, it is technically different. This is more of a blue-grey, and this is just more kind of dark black with some blue accents, but I think they blended in too much. I should have had maybe the hair the bright blue, and that would have contrasted a bit nicer. I also had a bit of bleed through. I went through and coloured the pupils of the eyes of all my pages using a Crayola Super Tip, because I have found that the black alcohol markers has been yellowing some of my pages slightly, so I've gone through with Super Tips instead, and it did bleed through because I thought, oh, I won't need a blotter sheet, and then it went on its chest. So not one of my favourites I've done in here, but it's a step closer to being done. This I do love. I love how he turned out. I was initially going to do him blue because I've done quite a few of the creatures green. I mean, this page before, the leprechaun was very green. And then as I was colouring it, and I'd done the trees, I did the rocks, I did the little sheep, I thought, no, he needs to be green and have that kind of earthy tone to him. So I thought I'd use this more kind of muted sage green for something different, and I'm really, really happy with how he turned out. And in my eyes, he's picked up this dragon because he's like, oh, you're green like me too. And sort of they've bonded over being green together. I used a bit of the the Sakura Clear Glaze pen on his eye. And I used a copper colour from the Super Golden markers for around these door frames. And I just love this neutral colour palette for this page. It's very different from all the others. And just this pop of coppery gold down at the bottom. It just looks really effective. One of my favourites I've done in this whole book. Then the next one is right next door. It is the Shillin. It's pronounced ch. And going from soft, muted, neutral tones to bam, it's pink and yellow. For a while I've been wanting to colour this one in a pink and yellowy / gold colour scheme. It does look insanely bright on camera. It is bright in real life as well, but the sun especially looks insanely bright. Ah, that's better. It was just a bit glary. But yeah. I used, oh, for all of these pages I should have said, I used Ohuhu alcohol markers. And then for this one, I added super golden markers to outline all of the yellow parts and do the dots around the sun. So that's all shiny. And then I used the Chromatech glitter gel pens on its spines to outline the scales and outline some of the lines on its horns. And yeah, it definitely turned out bright, and it's definitely different from any of the other pages. I don't like the pinks in the Ohuhu alcohol markers. There's a very few pinks I like. A lot of them are very, very bright and neon, which is not my vibe at all, but I thought I'd try something different, and it turned out pretty fun. And then the last one I did was this one, the Phoenix. I love how this one turned out. Ohuhu alcohol markers. I knew I wanted to keep it very monochromatic with reds, oranges, yellows for that kind of fiery bird look to it. And I did some more of the super golden markers. I outlined with the yellow gold for the flames, added some circles in its tail feathers for a bit of shine, and then went over some of the lines in the feathers with an orangey and red tone, just to have some different colour variety. Yeah, really like how it turned out. It's nice and shiny. I always love the pages in this book that I've used the super golden markers on. And for the background, I went for this kind of more orangey toned yellow, something a little bit different, especially considering I did a more brighter toned yellow here. I wanted something a little bit different, so I went for a more orange toned one, a darker yellow. And yeah, really love how he turned out. So getting close to finishing this book now. That was my 34th page done out of 52. So that is 50 Mythical Miniatures by Camellia Angel Cova. And then I've got Moon Valley by Maria Troll. Maria Troll was my focus artist for the month of July, where I tried my best to get a page coloured in each of her books that I own. I was successful apart from one, and that was in Luna, which was an untouched book, but I'm hoping to get it done at the start of August instead. But from Moon Valley, this was a buddy colour with Adela at Winter Spark Creative. And the page we did was this one. And this was a really nice, simple page to colour. It turned out pretty cute. The only thing I dislike is, in fact, now I'm looking at it, I don't dislike it as much as I did when I first coloured it. I wasn't a fan of the green I used for her dress. I thought it looked a bit weird. I think she would have looked cuter in maybe a pale pink, but it's something a bit different. And the same for her top here. I went for green to try and bring in the green from the hummingbird throughout the page. But I knew when I saw this page I wanted to do some like dark pink flowers fading out into white, green and pink hummingbird, and then dark green for the leaves. And it turned out mostly like I imagined it, so pretty happy with that, how it turned out. And it was great to get another page done in Moon Valley. This is one of my favourites by Maria Troll. Let me move mine across and show you Adela's here. She did a beautiful job, and thank you so much for buddy colouring with me in this book. It was great to get a bunch of Maria Troll pages done, because doing them this month I realised they're really quick and simple to colour, especially ones where it's not the whole page. Like this I'm sure would take a bit longer, but little wreaths, just small designs in the centre of the page, they take barely any time to colour. So that is Moon Valley by Maria Troll. Next up I've got 30 Spellbound Cloudy Scenes by Camellia Angel Cova, and this is a full book colour along for Zoe at Zoe's Cozy Colouring memberships. She colours a page in this every month, and the page for July was this one, The Princess and the Pea, kind of castle in the clouds. Really love how this turned out. I did have a bit of trouble with my alcohol markers as the light green I was using had run out. I initially wanted to have the vines and the leaves be in the light green, but I barely managed to get enough juice out of the marker to do the vines, let alone all the leaves, so had to make them the darker green combo instead. So it turned out a little bit darker than I initially planned, but that's okay. I've been colouring in this book using the Pastel Reverie colour palettes book, and you can see here I used this palette, Rustic Landscape, where I used Heather for the castle, Melon for the turrets, as well as blended with Banana Mania for the clouds, and then Caper for the darker green and Primrose for the lighter green. And yeah, it just turned out really simple, really effective. It's always a lot of fun colouring in needs in this book. And I did add a bit of the super golden marker on the dots of the clouds. I just thought the black dots on this page were looking a bit too harsh, so I went over them with a kind of coppery colour, which blends in nicely with the salmony peach colour I used. So that was the next page done in this book with Zoe, and the next page she is doing is one, it's like a nighttime cloud scene. It's going to be at the back of the book now. I've been flipping to the front. Is it that? Yeah, it's this one. And I see this with pinks, purples and yellows. So I'll have to find a good colour palette option from that book to use there. That is 30 Spellbound Cloudy Scenes by Camilla Angel Cover. Next up, I've got Dark Fairy Tales by Kirby Rosanes. And I've done a few buddy colours in this group with two ladies on Instagram, Cindy Peel and Elizabeth at e.m.leuk. And for July, I was really feeling inspired by this page, so this is the page I sent to the group to see if anyone wanted to join. And I loved colouring this. I based the water with a Crayola Super Tip. Did I base anything else? No, I then shaded over the top with Polychromos pencils, added some red Langro gel pen for the blood. I really enjoyed adding lots of blood splatters to this page. It was a lot of fun. And I used quite a bit, I don't know if it'll pick up on camera, of the clear glaze pen on the teeth of the dragon, and also popped some on its, of the alligator, and also popped some on its eye. So some of these kind of front, more prominent teeth, oh, and it feels very nice and satisfying. I think you can see the shine just a little bit there. Yeah, I just thought that would add a little fun touch to it. Used lots of white paint pen to go over the sea foam, and then I thought a nice contrast to this page would be this bright yellow background. So I really like how this turned out. It turned out pretty much exactly like I envisioned it. I will move mine across and show you Elizabeth's completed page here, as well as Cindy's work in progress. She didn't get the chance to finish this month, which is totally fine. I look forward to seeing her page when she does complete it, so definitely check out her Instagram to see it when she does. And yeah, another page coloured in this gorgeous book. I've been trying to colour a page in here every month. I'm kind of thinking I want to go back to Rapunzel and colour the opposite page here. I've got all my colours saved, and I've actually started a book where I'm recording all of my colour combinations for this book. So yeah, I've done that one, and I've done the Snow White Rose Red page. Do think I need to do a full double page spread someone soon. But yeah, really loving this book. Kirby Rosanes' Dark Fairy Tales. Then I've got the huge Disney Vitro book that will never fit in my frame on the video, but this I coloured for the Disney buddy colour group that I'm part of. Where is it? So if you don't know, I'll pop this on the screen so you can look at it. Zoe and I started a group together, I think it was May. We started watching a Disney film and colouring a page whilst we were watching it together, and it sort of has grown into a bigger group, and it is free for anyone to join. If you just message one of us, then we will happily add you. The more the merrier in this group. But we are randomly picking a Disney and a Pixar film every month, and finding at least one page to colour from our many Disney books. And it's just meant that we're able to get round to these Disney books and have a bit more of a focus on what we're doing. So the Disney movie for July was Hercules, and I did this page from Vitro. Really love how it turned out. I coloured all of Hercules during the film whilst watching it. I wanted to get Hercules and Pegasus done, but I didn't get round to Pegasus. Even though he's quite small, it did take a long time because there's lots of tiny segments to colour. But I used polychromos on this page. It's the first time I used polychromos in this book. I've used Prismacolors before now, and yeah, they worked beautifully on this paper. I wasn't sure what to do for the background, and then I decided to go for this orange, yellow, blue colour scheme. Thought that turned out well. And then for the border here, I used a copper Signo gel pen. Not copper, it's called bronze, the colour, the orangey one. And that has just given it a nice bit of shine. But let me move mine across and show you everyone's from the group's Hercules page, if they did complete it. I should have said earlier, but the people in the Disney group are Zoe at Zoe's Cozy Colouring, Jana at Colour and Create with Jana, Emma Colouring 85, Samfade 2615, Rachel at Crafting Mama Bear, and Lisa at My Colouring Nook. So not everyone got both pages done, but I will show you everyone's who did it there. So that was a great opportunity to get back to this book, and hopefully I'll get some more done in it soon. So that is Disney Vitro by Hatchet Heroes. Then I've got Fuzzy Meowies 2, a cute and cozy colouring book, and I coloured this live on stream with Polly at Polly Puts the Colour On. She got us to decide what book to colour in next week, and we picked this one for her to do, and I thought, oh, I need to get my hands on this book so I can colour it at the same time as her. And it was a lot of fun. I think, yeah, we coloured it pretty much at the same kind of pace. It was really nice watching her colour it whilst colouring it myself. This is theme to How to Train Your Dragon, so there's Hiccup and Toothless. We used Ohuhu alcohol markers for the whole page, including the shading, and just added a bit of Sakura clear glaze pen to Toothless's eye to make it shiny. I've become a bit obsessed with using the glaze pen recently. I've had it for a while, but yeah, just started to use it a little bit more. Just gives that little extra bit of shine. So yeah, that was a really fun page to do from Fuzzy Meowies 2. This is by Mojidu. Then I've got the Alice in Wonderland Colouring Heaven Special. These have illustrations by Eva Nikunin. And this was a buddy colour with the lovely Christine at Sank Colours. We actually buddy coloured for the previous page that we did in this book, and this was the only page we'd coloured before that. And she saw that this was on my summer randomizer video and asked if I wanted to do a buddy colour, and I said absolutely. I've been really feeling this carousel page, and she said let's do it. So we coloured this together. I based it right at the start of the month and then didn't get round to shading until about halfway through. I was a bit like with the colours. I actually found this inspiration picture, which I'll pop here, on Pinterest, which I used for my colour palette for the page, and really enjoyed the teal, purple, pink, gold colour scheme that was going on. I coloured the whole thing. I did the cat last because I wasn't sure what to do for the cat. Decided, you know what, let's make it ginger. I've got a ginger cat Lexi, so I always have to kind of resist doing a cat ginger, but I thought for this one, let's do it ginger. I had, with my basing for the flowers, you can see that some were darker, some were lighter, and with my pencil shading, you kind of lost some of that contrast between them, which is a bit frustrating, but oh well, you live and learn. And then I was stuck on what to do for the background for the longest time, because I was like, it definitely needs a background. I don't want it just being white. It needs something to kind of frame the picture nicely. And I was like, do I do a light pink? Do I do a light blue? Do I do a light purple? It was between those colours. And I just swatched some on a piece of paper and held them up to the page and landed on this nice light purple colour. I think it's such a nice colour for the background. It works really well. I think if I did pink, it would have been too much with the flowers. If I did blue, it would have just been boring. I always do blue backgrounds because the sky is blue. So I really did like doing the purple. But let me move mine across and show you Christine's stunning page here. She went totally different. I love the yellow roses. I love how they pop against the black background. She just did an amazing job. And yeah, thank you for colouring in this book again with me. I think it'll be nice if we keep coming back to this book every few months or so, just chipping away at it slowly. It's a really stunning book. We both really enjoyed colouring in it. So that's the Alice in Wonderland special by Eva Nikunen. Then I've got Lulu's House of Wonder, one of the new book releases from July. This was right at the start of July. And this book and this page that I coloured was extra special because I did it on my very first ever stream. And it was, come on, where is it? This one. The skunks having a little dance on top of this strawberry teacup house, and I loved colouring this. And it was so much fun to start streaming and being able to chat live with you guys. I've really been enjoying it, and you can expect to see lots more from me on the channel. But for this page I used Black Widows for the whole thing. They worked really nicely on this paper, blended beautifully. I especially love how the leaves turned out. That was a really nice colour combo. Got all my colours recorded up there because I was including them in the description. I added yellow Languid gel pen for the seeds on the strawberries, a tiny bit of gold signo on the rim of the saucer, and then the Spectrum, why do I always want to say Spectrum Nuggle? It's the Sakura clear glaze pen on the light bulbs just to make them look shinier and reflective. Yeah, loved colouring this page, love how bright and bold it is, and can't wait to get back into this book. In fact, I've got a buddy colour lined up for August in here, so really loved colouring my very first page in Lulu's House of Wonder by Lulu Mayo. Almost forgot, I also have this little bonus one to show you. I coloured this just before the stream to kind of work out what colour palette I wanted to use for her skin and hair, so I've got that all noted down here. I also noted down the colours for the outfit just in case, but I think I'll be changing it up throughout. So that was using Black Widows again and some Languid gel pens to do the outlinings. So that is Lulu's House of Wonder. And then I've got Mythographic Fantasy Forest by Fabiana Attanasio, and I loved colouring this page. This was a buddy colour with Chrissy at Chrissy Wilcox on Instagram, and this was the page we did. This tree man holding the little fairy up close to his face, and I really had a lot of fun colouring this page. I based it with alcohol markers, as you can see, and I wasn't a fan with how it was looking all based. It looked really flat, it looked really boring, as pages often do when you just base them with alcohol markers. And then the magic started to happen when I shaded with pencil, because I knew I wanted to create this kind of glowing effect with the fairy, having her have this yellow glow emitting from her. So I added, so before I started doing any of the other shading, I got a yellow pencil and just put the yellow pencil on the edge of everything that I knew that the glow would be sort of reflecting off of. And then I went in with the rest of my pencils to blend it all together. I used polychromos for this page, should have said that. I just love how it turned out, really do love it. I also used the Antec metallic watercolours for these dots in the background and a bit of Chromatec gel pen to outline the circles. This was a green with a gold reflect in it, and then I also used a pink metallic, not pink, pink opal metallic watercolour on the wings, so in some lights you don't see it, in some lights you do see it reflecting, and oh, that is just absolutely stunning. Really love how this turned out. But let me move mine across and I'll show you Chrissy's page here. She did an amazing job, as always, with the buddy colours. The glow of hers is absolutely gorgeous, and our pages did turn out very different from each other. But yeah, really proud with how this page turned out, and this is actually my first page coloured in this book, so that was nice to get my very first page coloured in Mythographic Fantasy Forest by Fabiana Attanasio. Another previously untouched book was Wildflower Folk by Christine Karen, and this was a buddy colour with Zed at Zed Colours on Instagram, and the page we chose to do together was This should be easy to flip through. It's the only page I've coloured in it. Here it is, Flora. Now this is the cover page and she has this gorgeous rainbowy hair, but I wanted to do my own thing. And as I was looking at it uncoloured, I just thought I wanted to have pink hair. So I just went for it. I just started colouring, started with the hair using my polychromos and did it pink. Then I did her skin. Really enjoyed colouring this skin actually. The grayscale made it a nice easy process to colour. I thought pink eyes would be kind of cute. I never usually do pink eyes because it's not a natural colour, but it worked really well, this kind of lighter pink to match with the hair. And then I did this lotus flower, and then I wasn't sure about the rest. And I kind of slept on it a few days and thought, you know what, let's go for my favourite flower colours, pink, purple and blue. So that's what I did, and had this nice soft green going throughout it for the leaves. And the final thing I did was add this yellow glow. I didn't originally have this glow, but I was inspired by the front cover and the kind of glow that they've got going on there. And I just thought I'd add a little subtle something at the bottom here. Nothing crazy or reflecting off of anything else on the face. And then to kind of bring that yellow throughout the page a little bit more, I decided to do the background yellow. And after I finished it, I was like, I don't like it. But I sent it to Zed and she was like, no, it works. It looks like it's adding to the glow effect of the page. And I was like, you know what, you're right. And I think it's just because of the grayscale. Because I just did a soft layer of colour over the grayscale. And I think because it had the grayscale made the yellow a little bit muddy. If it was a different colour, maybe it would have looked better. But with the yellow, it didn't quite have the effect that I wanted. But yeah, I'm really happy with this. It's such a gorgeous book to colour in. And I can't believe that I've waited so long to colour my first page in it, but so glad I did. Let me move mine across and show you Zed's beautiful page here. She did an amazing glowing effect, and the background I especially love. She really went for it with the background, whereas I was a bit more reserved. So thank you, Zed, for getting me started in this book, and it's definitely going to be the first of many pages coloured in here, because now I've done one, I feel like I can do them all. Sometimes just getting that first page coloured is the hardest part. That is Wildflower Folk by Christine Karen. Then I have Cottage Friends by Jeanette Veronica. This is on my list of books to complete eventually. I'm not planning on getting it done this year, but I'm hoping by next year I might have it finished. And this was the page I chose to do. In fact, this started off as a buddy colour with me and Zoe at Zoe's Cozy Colouring. Then Lil joined at Colouring with Lil, and then Kate from Q's Life and Colour joined, so it became a bit of a group. And we coloured this for Zoe's cute and cozy prompt of pool floaty. Obviously, they're using the pool floats, and yeah, it was a lot of fun to colour. There's a lot of green going on up here with all the trees, but I think there's a nice balance of you got your green, you got your blue, and then your fun summery colours. I decided to go for pink, yellow and green. Thought that was a little bit different for me. I added the stripe pattern to this bear's swimming costume just for a bit of interest. Rather than them both having plain ones, I thought this one can have a stripy one. So yeah, I enjoyed colouring that. Let me move mine across and show you everyone else's here. They all did completely different jobs, and every page is absolutely stunning in their own way. Really, really loved colouring this with you all. But my goal was to get 4 pages done in each of the seasonal sections, and that is the 4th one I've done now in the summer section. So I think I might see what Zoe's prompts are for next month and maybe do a couple more in the spring, because I've only done 2 in the spring section. That was good to get another page done in Cottage Friends by Jeanette Veronica. And then I've got one of my project books. This is 50 Woodland Miniatures by Camellia Angel Cova. And this is a project book with Mindy at Colouring with Cats Among Orchids, Jan at Aloha Lady, Lil at Colouring with Lil, Adela at Winter Spark Creative, and Melissa at Hazy Hues Colouring. And Adela picked the page for July, and the page she picked was this mushroom tortoise. And I was really unsure with this page. It sat on my list of books to colour in for ages. And then finally I just picked it up and thought, just start colouring with the bits you know. I know this is going to be brown for the tree. I know these mushrooms are going to be brown, and have these be a lighter colour. Then I know I'm going to colour the leaves. And then I was like, I don't want to do red. I don't want to do red because I do red-capped mushrooms all the time. And I coloured these flowers as bluebell flowers with a nice kind of periwinkle blue colour and thought, that's it. That's the colour I'm going to use. So I carried on this lighter colour for the mushrooms on this side and then used a darker version of the colour for the tortoise and the door. And I think it turned out really nice and cohesive. The only thing I don't like is the difference in tones between the greens down here and the green of the tortoise. I coloured the tortoise first because I thought this nice sagey green would look good. But I think I should have done the leaves that same sagey green, or vice versa, done him a more brighter green to make it look a little bit more cohesive. But you live and you learn. It's great. Another page done. Let me move mine across and show you everyone's beautiful pages here. Again, such different pages, but equally all did an amazing job. So thank you to everyone for colouring that page with me. Another one done in 50 Woodland Miniatures by Chameleon Angel Cover. Then I've got another Maria Troll book. I tried to spread out the Maria Troll pages throughout the month so I wasn't colouring a whole bunch of them at the same time. So next I worked in Shooting Star, and this was a buddy colour with Karu at My Starseed. And we did something a little bit different. I did this page and she did the page next to it. So it'll be nice seeing the pages next to each other when it's all finished. I used Black Widows for this page and absolutely loved it. I loved colouring the leaves, I loved colouring the oranges and lemons. Even the background was vaguely relaxing. I used Black Widows for the whole page, and the background was literally just one Black Widow's colour. When I first looked at this page, I thought, ooh, a nice dark foresty green background would look really cool, kind of bokeh style effect. And then I was looking up oranges and lemons colour palettes and saw this one with this colour for the background and thought, I want that instead. It's nice and bright and summery and just something a little bit different for this kind of tealy blue. I just love how the whole page looks. And I've got my colours saved here so I can bring them over to the opposite page. But let me take this one off so you can see mine and Karu's pages completed next to each other. Karu did an amazing job. Her blending is always so smooth. And yeah, it was fun to colour two halves of a double page spread together. It's a bit of a different kind of buddy colour. So I really enjoyed colouring that page from Maria Troll's Shooting Star. Next I've got 50 Zodiac themed miniatures by Chameleon Angel Cover. This I am hosting as a full book colour along on Instagram. We are colouring the zodiac signs in order and then the Chinese chibi zodiac signs in order. So we've done Aries, Taurus, Gemini and now Cancer. This page came together so seamlessly for me. For these zodiac signs I have been using these colour palettes which I found on a quilting blog actually, and then I just made it look nice and formatted like this so I could record down my colour combos. And yeah, it just came out really easily. Thought the silver for the sand, blue, light blue for some of these shells in the background, pink for the other shells and the dark pink for the crab. And I really love the dark pink crab. I think it works really well. And then for the border I used the same dark pink alcohol marker and added the Spectrum Noir clear glitter pen on top because I didn't have a glitter gel pen that matched it well enough, so I decided to go for the Spectrum Noir clear glitter, which just makes anything a glitter pen. So that was the first page, and then go into the chibi Chinese zodiac signs. I did the chibi rabbit. She turned out so pretty and pastel. I've been going for a bit of a pastel vibe with these chibi animals at the back here. So I wanted to keep that going. And yeah, really love how this turned out. Kind of wish I didn't do our eyes in the basket brown. I think it would look cuter in pink, just to keep it really nice and limited. Or even green to match in with the leaves down there. But again, I used a pink alcohol marker for the border and the title, and went over it with the Spectra Noir clear glitter pen, just so the colours were nice and matchy. But yeah, another cute page done. Next we are doing the Chibi Dragon and Leo. So cute. Can't wait to do both of those for August from 50 Zodiac Miniatures. And then I've got Princesses Travers les Saisons, or translated to English, this is Princesses Through the Seasons, and this was my first page I coloured in this book. And you can see peeking out at the top, I also coloured a bookmark. So this was my page for the Disney Group Buddy colour. So the Pixar film for the month was Brave, and so I coloured several Merida pages, and I tell you what, by the end of the month I was sick to the sight of her massive orange hair. It was a lot of fun to colour the first time round, and then the second was not so fun, and the third was less fun, and it just got very repetitive very quickly because I did quite a few colour by numbers with her in, you'll see at the end. But I really enjoyed how this page turned out. It was a lot of green. I did base it with alcohol markers. It was looking a little bit streaky down here as my alcohol markers was struggling to get through it. But colouring her was a lot of fun, and then I just kind of scribbled and embraced the texture for the grass in the background. Love how these cherries turned out. Or I should have said I used the Ohuhu alcohol markers to base and Arteza Expert to shade on top, and I did the same on this bookmark, which is from the Mini Portraits bookmark set. And yeah, just used the exact same alcohol markers that I did for her on here as I did here, and then added a bit of gold signo for the background with these kind of swirly pattern you've got going on, which was great because I coloured it to start with alcohol markers, and it kind of, the green bled over onto the goldy marker, so adding the gold outline meant that you didn't have as much bleed through. But let me move mine to the side and show you everyone from the Disney group who managed to get a Merida or Brave page coloured in for the month. I think a lot of people did colour by number pages for this one. But yeah, really looking forward to our movies for next month. We are doing Soul as our Pixar movie, and what's the Disney one? It's just escaped my brain. Oh, a Goofy movie. Yeah, so it's great to get my first page coloured in Princesses Through the Seasons, and this is illustrated by Charlotte Mendes. Then I've got Tiny World's Pocket Pets. This is illustrated by Alex Oxton, and I am part of a Tiny Worlds group buddy colour on Instagram. This was started by Jodie at JI Colorist, and the way they do it is they pick 2 pages for the month, and you can colour either of them or both of them. I decided to just focus on this one, and whoo, this page was a challenge. It looks really fun and bright and vibrant, and I love the finished result of it, but wow, there's some confusing details. To start with, this jar didn't exist, it just had this bottom line drawn in, so I added the kind of top of the jar and the label on it. And then a lot of these green foliage bits, it's just a bit odd. Like, it's not AI, but it's just a bit odd. Some of the details, like you have leaves just jutting out different places, but I based with alcohol markers and shaded over the top with Black Widow's pencils. They worked pretty nicely on this paper, and just kind of, I just went for it. I thought I'll do some of the foliage lighter, some of it darker, deepen up the shadows with the shading, and it all turned all right in the end. And these bears are just adorable. I love colouring little fun houses like this. So I was really glad to get this page done, and it was my first page in this book and my first Tiny Worlds page in total. So that was Tiny Worlds Pocket Pets by Alex Oxton. We are nearing the end of the stack. Next I've got Colouring Heaven Pocket Fairy Tales by Selena Fennick, and this is a project book with Lil at Colouring with Lil, Chelsea at Chelsea Biggity 99, and Kathy at ColourV94, all on Instagram, and Lil has a YouTube channel. And it was Kathy's turn to pick, and she picked the hardest page in the entire book. The 12 Dancing Princesses. I say the hardest, but gosh, it was a lot of fun. It really was a lot of fun to colour. So I decided to keep some level of cohesion by having all of their faces be the same colour. So I based the entire image with alcohol markers, shaded with Prismas on top. And I thought, you know what? Let's let ChatGPT help me. So I typed into ChatGPT, give me 12 colours for the 12 Dancing Princesses. And it came up with a list of 12 colours. And I was like, can you do a more pastel colour scheme? Because it had some dark reds and dark blues. And I liked a lot of the pastel tones. I didn't like the darker ones mixed in. So it changed it a bit again. And then I changed it again myself. So this is mainly based on ChatGPT, the colours it gave me. And I really, really love these colours together. Like, I like how they're all kind of pastel in tone, but they're all different and they're all unique. And then when it came to their hair, I got out a bunch of brown and orange and yellow Ohuhu alcohol markers and just kind of placed them on top of where the dresses were to be like, okay, does this colour go with this? Because I didn't want the yellow dress to have blonde hair kind of thing. I wanted them to look different, and some of them have similar colours, so I didn't want the two purple dresses to both have brown hair, for example. And the same with the orangey one. Like, I wanted there to be differences between the girls with the similar colour dresses. But yeah, I think it turned out really, really cute, and really love seeing it all finished, and glad to get this page done because it was quite a daunting one with all of these princesses on it. But let me move mine across and show you everyone's here. Everyone just went crazy with colours. Lil actually did a limited colour palette for hers, and I really loved the look of that. It has a really nice cohesion to it, but using all the colours is a lot of fun for this page, and it's the perfect page to just go crazy with the colours. But the next page we are doing in this book for August is the 3 Billy Goats Gruff. I chose the page and can't wait to get that one completed. So that is Colouring Heaven Pocket Fairy Tales by Selena Fenwick. Then I have Sargon by Maria Troll. This is a full book colour along for my members on YouTube. If you're interested, the link is always in the description. And the page for July was the other half of the Frog Prince. So this page here, and I really, really, really loved colouring this one. I loved colouring this one, but I loved this one even more. It just went by so quickly because so much of the page are leaves, and once you've got your colour combos for the leaves sorted, which I already had because they were taken over from that page, that was a good 2/3 of the page done. And then I did the flowers, and that was that done, and then it was just the ball, the frog and the crown, and boom, your page is finished. I decided not to do a background for this one. I just couldn't be bothered. And I thought it looked nice enough on its own anyway. I used the Pentel Jewel Hybrid Gold Metallic Glitter Gel Pen because that is super gold and glittery. I used the Spectrum Noir Clear Glitter Pen for the dots on the frog's back and the stars to give it a bit of sparkle. Yeah, I really, really love this. I used Prisma colours for the whole page to match with this one. And the options are now live on my YouTube members community post to vote for the next one. And I'm hoping to get a double page spread done in August and try and get through the book a little bit faster. But yeah, that was the 5th colour along from my full book colour along in Sargon by Maria Troll. Then I have Fragile World by Kirby Rosanis, and I am so glad I got another page done in here because when I was inputting the data into my bookshelf app, I realised the last time I coloured a page in here was March 2023, and that was just such a shame it wasn't that one. It was this double page spread. Ooh, so bright. But I saw that Polly had recently got this book from Polly Puts the Colour On, reached out for a buddy colour, and we did this one, and I loved colouring this page. I used Albrecht Dürer's to base the entire page. In fact, the background is coloured solely with Albrecht Dürer's, And then I did a little bit of extra shading on top of the leaves and the flowers with polychromos, and the frogs themselves were completely coloured in with polychromos, as well as the snails. And I just love how they look. I knew I wanted these nice bright pink flowers, and the yellow background I think complements the orange tones on the frogs. I love this page. It's so bright and vibrant, and I really enjoyed using the Albrecht Dürer for it. If I were to do this page again though, I would colour the background first, because I did get a bit of bleed over with the green from the stems on it, and I just think that would have been minimised if I'd done the yellow background first, then did the green, because the green would layer over the top and mask the yellow better than the other way around. But that was just kind of me never using them before. I've used ink tents in books, which once you activate them, they're supposed to be permanent. You can reactivate them a tiny bit, but because these are watercolour pencils, they don't stay put on the page. They can be reactivated and moved around a tiny bit once you've activated them to start with. So it's just a learning curve. I added a bit of the clear glaze pen on their eyes, as well as on the little snail trails dots down here. Well, that was cute. But let me move mine across and show you Polly's here. Love how hers turned out, completely different to mine. I love the bold blue background and the yellow flowers. It's just a lot of fun, and often when you have pages like this with realistic animals, the pages can look quite similar, but ours look so different. So yeah, I need to come back to this book because I really enjoyed colouring this page. I can't abandon it for another 2 years. That is Curvy Roseanne's Fragile World. Then I have Nekos' Story of Precious Cats, and I had been colouring this for the last few weeks on stream, and I finished it up last night in my own time. I did the entire page with Albrecht Dürer's. I say the entire page. I did the leaves, the flowers, the tub and the pump with Albrecht Dürer's, and then I added a bit of polychromos shading last night by myself. I did Albrecht Dürer's for the background, which gave it this really nice watercolory effect for the sky. Added a few clouds in, just to give a bit of visual interest there. And the cats themselves were coloured with polychromos and just one Black Widow pencil for the light brown here. And I just love how this page turned out. I look at it and it just makes me smile. Although I'm now thinking I need to add some glaze pen to their eyes, because I think that will just give it that extra little bit of special something. But yeah, really love colouring this, and it was a lot of fun colouring it on stream with you all. And for those who did join me on stream, here is the finished result. But before I coloured the cats on that page, I did go through on this character profile page and do the fur on all of the cats, recorded them down on a piece of paper here. I just need to go back and do that outfit. In fact, I didn't record this on my whips list, so I have to make sure to do that by the end of the video. Otherwise, I will forget, and I'll forget about this whip. But yeah, it was good to get those started. And again, I want to add glaze to their eyes. So that is Story of Precious Cats by Neko, and that was my very first page I coloured in this book, and now I'm obsessed. So really love that book. And then the final page I managed to get coloured on the 31st last night was Maria Troll's Universe. This was a buddy colour with Mika at Mikashi Colours. And the page we did was the bike ride. And it was one of the Universe exclusive pages, which I haven't done yet in this book. Where is it? I was going to say, I thought it was nearish the back. There it is. We did this bike ride, and wow, this was so quick. I started it just gone 10 at night. Just finished the Story of Precious Cats page, and I thought, oh, let me get started on this, and then I'll finish it up first thing on the 1st. And then it just breezed by. I think it took me only about an hour to colour. It just came together really easily. I already knew ahead of time the colour palette I wanted to use. I knew I was going to do these red like poppies, blue for bluebells, and then bring those colours into the girl on the bike here. And then the greens, I had fun playing around with different colour combos. That reminds me, I've got a post-it note here. Because this was at the bottom of my stack of books, I didn't want to take it out just to put this post-it note on. But those are my colours that I can transfer over to this page when I get around to doing that one. Yeah, I really love how this page turned out. And it was super quick and simple. But let me move mine across and show you Mika's here. She did a gorgeous job with the background of her page. For me, I, again, couldn't be bothered and liked how it looked without a background. But yeah, thank you so much to Mika for colouring in this book with me. This was another book I hadn't touched for a long time. Oh, don't mind me, just was ruining my book there. I've only done a couple of pages. This one I did January 2024. Then the other one I think might have been March or April of last year. Yeah, March of last year. So it'd been over a year since I'd gotten this book. So it was great to get another page done in Maria Troll's universe. Then I have one bonus page to show you. I finished this morning, or this early afternoon. This is Lost and Found by R.J. Hampson, a project book with Dana at DabblerD on Instagram. And I remember finishing that universe page and going, yes, I did all my buddies and everything I needed to do. And then realised that I'd put this in a separate pile for making my plans video, so missed it. I had coloured this basket before the start of this month, and yeah, just coloured the rest of it today. I don't love how it turned out. I think it looks a bit boring. The colour palette isn't very inspired. When I first saw this, I thought, oh, a nice snowy landscape, but I wasn't wanting to colour snow at this time of year. So I just made it lush and green and very dark in tone as it's a nighttime scene. I liked colouring the dog, but all the other bits I think I should have done the washing machine a nice bright colour, but I felt like doing something neutral just to offset from the busyness of the inside in there. But I think I could have been a bit more bold and daring. But it is another page done, and I'm glad to have it done. I'll move mine across and show you Dana's here. She did a gorgeous job with hers. I love the patterned wallpaper she added to the background. That was a lot of fun. So thank you for colouring this with me again. We are getting through this book, and the next page we are doing is this one, Help. I am really looking forward to colouring this one. So that is Lost and Found by R.J. Hampson. And then the final stack of books will be nice and quick, are all my colour by numbers. All of these I have coloured with Crayola Super Tips, unless I say otherwise. And I do the outlines with a black paint pen. I did this one for the Hercules film that we watched this month. I love how this one turned out. You've got Phil, Pain and Panic, and then Hades and Hercules. This really gorgeous background. The colours were so bright and vibrant, especially on these two. That was a lot of fun colouring that one. This is probably my favourite at the moment. Colour by number, Heroes and Villains. So that was a lovely page to colour. Then I did a couple in Les Grands Classiques Tome 11. I did another Hercules one. This page kind of inspired the colours for the Vitro page, the blue, kind of orange, yellow. I mean, it's not really orange and yellow, it's more pink and red and orange. Yeah, this turned out nice and bright and vibrant as well. And then I also did this Merida page, and wow, it took so long to do the outlining for her hair, but it was fun and I like how she turned out. And then to get the double page spread done, I did this one of Wendy and Michael as well. That turned out pretty cute. That is Tome 11. And I did one in Petit Poupée. I used alcohol markers on this page just to test out that medium in this book. Really liked how they worked, and it was easy to find matching colours. But again, another Merida page. So that one turned out pretty cute from Petit Poupée. I did a few in Vitro. I did these two for the film Hercules. I did this one first and then was like, well, I've got to do Hades next to it as well. I like the unique colours on this one. And then I was feeling a bit down one day and Wasn't in the mood to make colouring decisions, so I randomised a book. It picked Vitro and randomised a number, and it picked 47, and it was this adorable Simba and Nala page. And I've got all my colours noted down at the bottom to do Simba on the next page as well. But by the time I finished that, I was feeling inspired to do some other colouring as well. So that's Vitro. Then I got Portraits, and the page I did was the cover, another Merida page. And I really struggled finding colour matches. I used the Guangnar acrylic paint pens, and so many of those pens for me have completely dried up. I have only used them once to swatch, and already they dried up, and I was getting so frustrated with it. I just wanted this page done. So this was not my favourite colouring experience, but she looks okay done. I think she turned out all right in the end. The hair is a lot more vibrant than what they wanted it to be, but it is what it is. That is the Portraits colour by number. And the final one I have is Petty Princesses. And I did this really cute Cinderella one. I love all of these Cinderella pages where she's wearing this cute white floral dress. And she's here with her mother. I just think this turned out really, really nicely. But there we go. That was everything for the month of July 2025. Another very busy colouring month for me. But now it's time to think, what was my favourite page for the month? Let me grab it. It was a very tough decision this month, but I had to go for this one. Nekos, Story of Precious Cats. I think because of the process of colouring this one, the fact that I was doing it on stream, and I just love the finished result. I think it's so cute. So that is my favourite for the month, but the Mythographic and Wildflower Folk ones were very close seconds, as well as the Frogs from Fragile World. I also really loved that one. Lots of pages I did this month I really, really loved. But let me know in the comments below, what was your favourite? I'd love to hear. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye everyone.